We're talking state firearms. We're talking when they were produced, what the firearm is, if it's still being made, who may have been carrying it, what wars they may have been in, and the caliber, right? Some interesting facts will be sprinkled along the way. The sources will be linked in the description below. Go check those out in their entirety. Learn more about these firearms. Alaska, June 2014. They adopted the pre 1964 Winchester Model 70. It was used by the United States Marine Corps to stack bodies and hotties in World War II, Korean War, and the Vietnam War. This weapon system's capacities can be varied depending on the models and multiple calibers depending on which one it is because they made so many different variants. But this rifle in different variants is also made up to this day. Pretty based Alaska. If I needed to kill some bears, that's what I'd be using. We're talking Arizona with the Colt Single Action Army Revolver. Arizona adopted this revolver in April of 2011. It was produced in 1873 and some of the models are still being made to this day. It's got one of the coolest names, or nicknames I should say, which is the gun that won the West. It was used by the United States, Canada, Native American groups, Mexico, Ireland, United Kingdom, South Africa, Australia. The wars it was used in, which we all want to hear, where blood was shed, where men became men, and when boys never got to meet their fathers again. And that is the Range Wars, Northwest Rebellion, Spanish-American War, Filipino-American War, First Boer War, Mexican Revolution, the Second Boer War, the Irish War of Independence, based war, World War I, World War II, and this weapon system can carry 6. Most carried 5 because they were worried that they were too unsafe and they would shoot themselves if they carried one without an empty chamber. The mid-state of Utah, they adopted the M1911 pistol in March 2011. I'm not going to list every country that has used this pistol because we would be sitting here for 20 minutes as I just listed every country that I could think of. And the wars it has been in, once again, super long, but some cool ones. World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And it is calibered in 45 ACP. We all know this gun. We all love this gun. Very based Utah. Let's go into the next one. Next, we're talking about a state that nobody really knows of or the name of, and if you do, it's probably because of Tom Petty or basketball, and that is the state of Indiana. They adopted a one-off rifle as their state rifle, and that is the Grouseland rifle made by John Small in 1803. I couldn't see if there was any wars that this was used in. The guy was a colonel, so it was probably just for laying down the law when he was the first sheriff of Knox County, Indiana. This rifle is in a museum, the William Henry Harris Mansion in Vincennes, and it is chambered in 45. That's it. It's just a muzzleloader. Pretty cool though. We have a twofer in this one because the pettiness is unreal. The beef between Kentucky and Pennsylvania rifles. So we have the Kentucky long rifle, which was adopted in 2013, and the Pennsylvania long rifle, which was adopted in 2014, almost exactly a year apart. The beef between this is that Pennsylvania said, fuck you, Kentucky. This is our rifle. How dare you make it your state rifle? It was made in Lancaster County. It's called the Lancaster rifle. You are a scumbag for adopting it. That's kind of the beef between the two. But it is also one of the rifles that helped build this country, make this country what it is. And it was used by the British American colonies all the way until 1776 when we became the United States of fucking America. All right. Now, that being said, you can buy reproduction models of this freaking sweet boy. And it has been used in the French Indian Wars, the American Indian Wars, the American Revolution, the War of 1812, the Texas Revolution, the American War, the American Civil War, and then it comes in a few different calibers because once again, this is a hand-fitted rifle. You kind of make it into whatever caliber was, prevalent at the time. But that being said, it is just a Lancaster rifle that both states said, my rifle. And then the other one was like, nah, fuck you, my rifle. We're talking West Virginia, where the hill people are, a gross state in my opinion, and they adopted the Hall Flintlock Model 1819, and they adopted that as their state rifle in April 2013. This was produced from 1820s to 1840s, and reproductions can still be found to this day. It was used by the United States and Argentina. The wars it fought in were the Indian Wars, the Mexican-American Wars, the American Civil War, the Argentinian Civil War. It is chambered in 13.3 millimeter ball. And interesting, this was one of the first breech-loading rifles to be adopted by the military force. Go check out Forgotten Weapons. They have an excellent video on this. We're talking about a state that no one knows how to drive, but man, do they know how to make me hard, and that is Tennessee, where they come out swinging with the Barrett M82 50 cal. They said, we're not playing, we're here to turn people into not solids, but liquids. They adopted this weapon system in 2016. This weapon system was being constructed, built, developed, all that great stuff in 1989, and it is still being produced today. The countries that have used this weapon system to obliterate human beings, remove head, arms, and limbs, and destroy equipment, usually radios being carried by douchebags, were the United States, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Pakistan, Philippines, Spain, Sweden, South Korea, Turkey, Thailand, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, and Yemen. The wars that this has been involved in, where pieces of human are still somewhere scattered on the streets of these countries to this day because of this weapon system, and that is the Soviet-Afghan War, the Gulf War, Kosovo War, war in Iraq, war in Afghanistan, the Mexican drug war, Second Libyan War, and the Russo-Ukraine War, where we are ripping apart Russians for the hell of it. It is chambered in what? If you didn't say 50 BMG in your computer, you're not as dedicated as me. And, the magazine only holds 10 rounds. And then I know that some companies are making 20-round mags that are circular, pretty neat stuff. But let's get into the next one. We're talking the state of Texas, where they don't give the distance in miles, they give it in hours. They adopted the 1847 Colt Walker revolver in May of 2021. This weapon system was produced in the namesake of 1847 to 1865. You can still find reproductions of this weapon system to this day, though. And it was used by the state of Texas, however you want to say it, the United States, and the Confederate States of America. And moving on from there, the wars it was used in is the Mexican-American War, completely justified, and the American Civil War. It was chambered in 44 ball and 457, and it holds 6 rounds in the cylinder. Let's go on to the next one. The awful state of Missouri, based laws, but a terrible place to live. They adopted the Missouri Liberty Arsenal Model 1841 rifle, or the Hawkins rifle. They adopted it in 2013, July 6th of 2013 to be precise. This weapon system was built, constructed, all that good stuff in 1841 to 1861, and it was used by the United States and the Confederate States of America, and it was used in the Civil War, and it was chambered in .54 ball and .58 mini ball. And fun fact, this costed around $16 to produce in that person's time, and I'm not converting it. This concludes my video. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, and get off my range.